Welcome to Keep Heading East. I'm Murray from the YSE Cookery School. If you're joining us again, then welcome back. And if you're joining this series for the first time, you've joined us in Ireland, the 29th stop on our whistle-stop tour of global feasting. You can check out the main introduction to this series by clicking the on-screen link in the cards, or follow the link in the description to our free PDF cookbook with all the recipes that we'll be cooking in this series. Or if you prefer a printed version, then there's one available as well. And like the rest of the UK and Europe, Ireland has a thriving modern food culture, fast foods and international restaurants found mainly in the major cities. Chefs have embraced the heritage of their food and often work with familiar recipes but creating them with a modern twist. But outside the cities, Irish food is predominantly still traditional and hearty and sticks to the recipes handed down over generations. For me, Irish food is warming, tasty, peasanty food that warms you up on a cold day and just generally makes you feel better. Now, you can't think about Irish food without thinking potatoes, but the humble potato has been Ireland's saviour and its curse a couple of times actually through history. Arriving in Ireland towards the end of the 16th century, it was a bit of a lifeline for the poorer Irish people, replacing the reliance on the grains that were farmed there to date. The damp climate meant that potatoes grew easily and were fairly cheap to produce. However, the dependency on potatoes as a staple food became a curse when the first potato famine happened in 1739, and it was caused just simply by cold weather. But the famine of 1845 to 1849 in Ireland was caused by potato blight. Now, this disease spread rapidly and wiped out the potato crops, resulting in the death of over 1 million Irish people. Now, of those who survived, over 2 million immigrated to the US and the UK, and several million were left in Ireland with nothing. Now, one of my favourites from Ireland is Colcannon mash. It's a hearty mashed potato with bacon, spring onions and cabbage, and I've left a link in to a quick clip on how to make it. Pigs are the oldest domesticated animal in Ireland and are still used a lot in Irish cooking, for example sausages and bacon, gammon, etc. A Dublin coddle is one of Ireland's national dishes, and it's made from bacon, sausages and of course potatoes. Irish beef is world renowned, and no St. Paddy's Day meal would be complete without corned beef or a Gaelic steak, which is a pan-fried steak with a shot of Irish whiskey. And then there's a classic Irish stew, which is probably the epitome of Irish cuisine. Now, surrounded by sea, fish and seafood also naturally play quite an important role. Things like oysters, crab, lobster, langoustine, cockles, mussels, whitefish and salmon, fresh and smoked, pretty common in Ireland. And since the 1970s, innovative dairy farmers have begun to return to the artisanal cheese making and have revived a long-lost art in Ireland. Irish soda bread's another classic from Ireland, and the soft wheat flours are perfect for this purpose. And who better to take you through a proper Irish soda bread than Darina Allen from the Ballymaloe Cookery School in Cork. Now, this well-known school's been teaching people to cook in Cork since 1983, and Darina is a really great personality to learn from. It's a really simple bread to make, so grab yourself some buttermilk from a supermarket and knock up a batch of this in the weekend. Links are on screen in just a moment. Now, we can't visit Ireland without a nod to the pint of Guinness, which in many opinions could be considered a food group in its own right. And our recipe this week is for chocolate Guinness cake. It's a great excuse to pick up a pack of Guinness next time you're in the supermarket and give it a whirl. So that's it for this stop on our Keep Heading East tour of global cuisine. I hope you've enjoyed it. Links are on screen now for the videos I mentioned earlier if you'd like to see a little more from the region. And remember, for our subscribers, there's a fantastic cookbook to accompany this series. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and grab yourself a free PDF copy of our cookbook, or if you prefer a hard copy, the links are there as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon.